Welcome to the SaintsCityMe podcast. I'm Michael, and as always, I'm here with my wonderful co-host Dan. We're the podcast that sends heartfelt international audio messages to our beloved city and team, all whilst diving deep into the world of football fandom, cultural connections, and the enchanting spirit that defines the city. Tonight, we are extremely excited to be joined by Sergi, who is who's, if you are following him on Twitter, it's Who Dat Nation España. Is that correct, Sergi?
Who at Spain? Good night, good afternoon, whatever you listen to us. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here, representing a little bit our Spanish fandom of the New Orleans Saints. So, thank you for having me here with you. It's an honor.
It's great to have you on. This is exactly the sort of thing that myself and Dan have been trying to do. We want to speak to as many international fans about their fandom and about exactly how they became fans of the team, and also if they're a fan of the city, what that sort of means to them. So it's an absolute pleasure for us to have them on. Isn't that right, Dan?
Yeah, no, I was really. We was putting some feelers out recently, and Sergi came back and gave us a follow. So we reached out straight away and said, we'd love to have a conversation with you. And he was really keen to go on. So we're really privileged to have you on, and appreciate you taking the time this evening. A bit later for you than it is for us, but just come and have a chat with us. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's okay. Let's pass with that part of having thanking everyone. It's okay. Everybody thank, and we're very pleased to we got all together here.
All thanked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are you, Sergi? How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm better than the Saints offensive side of the ball, but I'm fine. Yeah. I'm excited with a new season of the Saints.
Yeah.
The last two games, but yeah. In general, we're fine. We're fine in Spain. We are a little bit hot in Barcelona. I don't know what is happening. We are going to a Caribbean place or whatever. We're transforming in something tropical or something, because it's not normal to be like at 30 degrees at the 4th of October. So we're fine, and just getting that hot weather inside.
Yeah, we Brits call that an Indian summer for some reason. I have no idea why, but that's what we refer it.
Because it's the summer in India this time of year.
Yeah,
is that why?
I think so. I don't know. Maybe someone could tell me. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been to India at this time of year. It's very hot.
I'm going to disappear and Google that, because I don't think that's right. But anyway, swiftly moving on. Sergi, you touched on, obviously, the Saints there. I suppose as an opening to the podcast, we really ought to talk about the game on Sunday, as much as I don't think anybody particularly wants to talk about that game on Sunday. What were your thoughts on it, Sergi, watching it from Spain?
About the game on Sunday.
On Mike. Sunday, yeah.
We are very disappointed in general here. We're struggling. Last year, our main struggling area was the play calling on offense. Yeah. This year we were supposed to be better because we have a decent or a normal quarterback. We have all the aerial weapons in shape. Maybe the running game has struggling with a suspension of Camara, but everything was set. And at the beginning of the season, we were struggling in the offensive line, but now it's getting better each week. But the offensive side of the ball isn't getting better. So we're doing a program, also a podcast here in Spanish, which is called Abadia Saints, and we were just talking that Monday if it's the time to change the offensive coordinator or not. It's a little bit overreacting thing, but we are at the same point that we were last year, and that's a little bit, I don't know, disgusting, no?
Yeah, it's you're right. You say it's maybe a little bit too early, but when you think about the whole of last year, we knew what one of the problems was there. We know, it's been put out across the media in certain areas in New Orleans that Pete Michael didn't want the job. Whenever you see him at a presser, it feels like he still doesn't want the job.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously it's early in the season, but our problems, you know, offensively are exactly what they were last year, but with improved weapons. So there has to be something that changes.
I think that's the thing. Is that last year we looked at it and said, it's just get us a quarterback. We'll be okay. Get us a quarterback. We'll be fine. This year we've got the quarterback, and then we started slowly, and we said, okay, it's the offensive line. We've got that to click. Offensive, as Sergi said, offensive line looks better. They're getting better every week. Small steps. Penning's looking better. I mean, James Hurst hasn't looked great. We've had some concussions on the offensive line, but they've held up despite losing Cesar Ruiz and despite Andres Pete going out this week during the game with concussion. But I think I was talking to a friend of ours, Ben, on Twitter today, and I sort of said, I think it's a sum of the parts. And until you chip away at it and get to the root cause, which I think ultimately we all agree is play calling. I've said it before on here that I think Pete might be the greatest individual at drawing up plays to run, but I just don't think he knows how and when to execute them correctly. And we're treading old ground. I don't want to replay stuff that on Monday I listened to at least 7 Saints podcasts talking about the game because I'm a sicko. But the general, I started off with Ross Jackson, moved to Juice, Nick Underhill. I listened to Saints Happy Hour, 28-3 podcast, and ultimately it all comes down to the same thing. Everyone's saying the play calling is not good enough during the game. It's not. Yeah. So whether it's giving Ronald Curry a go to call plays, I don't know, but that's that to me seems to be the biggest issue. That we've got.
I cannot be more agree than that reflection. I think Pete Carmichael is a good designer, in-house. It's I think he writes good stuff, good playbook at all, general view of but on the game plan, and especially on the play call, because on the game plan you can see the first drive, it used to go more or less okay, but I have the feeling that when something is upsetting your drive or your snaps, we have a run designed for Tyson Hill. He can run from 2 to 5 yards. If he's running just 1.5 yards, we are losing the North. I think that's he's not able to have that feeling with the matchups, mismatches, and that kind of things that Sean Payton maybe was that part of the job at that time, and I think that they need to do I don't know how to have something supporting that part from them if they want to be this season something. No, I don't know if I'm explaining okay, but
no, I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying. If you looked at the game, and again, I'm drawing on the analysis I've heard other people say, but Tampa played the 2, said you're not going to take the top off of us. You're going to have to play out, out to the sidelines, which is what Derek Carr kept doing, and they knew where the ball was going, and they just cut our game out. And that fake handoff was just farcical, really. Nick Underhill did a really good piece on it, just showing how poorly executed it was. I use the analogy, and this might be lost on people around the world, depending on your education system, but in the UK, a certain percentage of your exam result is based on coursework. And then the rest is done on exam. You sit in an exam. And I've known people through my life when I was at school who were unbelievable at coursework. But when they sat in that exam room, they absolutely melted and they would fail the exam. And that's the analogy I use for Pete Carmichael. He might be the best person in the room at coursework, but when he has to sit that exam on the field, he just seems to get through his first drawn up series of plays. And then it just falls apart because he doesn't seem to be able to be impulsive with what he's doing. That seems to be my view.
No, and I think that's a really good analogy because that's exactly how it feels. Because nobody, I've yet again, as you said, you've listened to a number of pods, I've listened to a number of people, and they all believe that Pete Carmichael has the ability to draw plays. That's not the problem. The problem is implementation. And if that's the case, then you've got to make a change. They're not going to make a sweeping change. I think everybody who's saying maybe put Ronald Curry in, I think literally that is the only change you can make, because they mid-season they're not going to change the scheme. Nothing that big's going to change. So you just need somebody else who might be able to read the game a little bit better when they're in game. And I think you have. I mean, it's shocking. Nothing underneath, nothing in the slot. You know what I mean? In the middle of the field, just is a barren land, and that is
play actions.
Yeah. I mean, the percentage of play action we do, yet again, we're at the lowest end of all the NFL rankings, and it's that sacrilegious to not be utilizing Mike Thomas, who that was, he got slated for the fact that he was a slant boy. But the reason he got that nickname is because he was so good in there. He's so 4 games in. He's 4 games in, and he's still fit. And what we were all crying out for at the beginning of the season was, "Oh, please, Mike, just stay fit." He's staying fit. And funnily enough, I think it was when Jameis came in, and I'm not bigging Jameis up in any way, shape, or form here, but actually he started to hit him in that area. There was progression in that area. So, I don't think you can excuse Carr from all of this, because obviously we know that, firstly, he probably shouldn't have played on Sunday. But secondly, we know he's been holding on to the ball far too long. And even in the presser afterwards, where he said he made a couple of angry throws, I'm sorry, you can't be doing that. It's not your show. So
that's what I do when I play Madden.
Yeah.
And that shows an immaturity in some ways, that he can't. We talk about cornerbacks having to be able to have having a bad play, and going, "That's done. I've got to go again." He needs to have that mentality where if he makes a throw and it's bad, you can't get angry and go, "I'm going to try it again to prove I can make that throw." Move on through.
But that's 100% Derek Carr. We know that was Derek Carr when we buy it. So he has done all of this all his career. So, but there are things that have never appeared with Pete Carmichael calling the plays. And have you seen that graphic from? I think it's from PFF, which is the ball placement of the throws of Derek Carr.
Yeah.
The middle, on the second level, on the rear part of the front 7, which is the weakest point of the Tampa defense, because they are blitzing from everywhere. So from the slot, from the cornerbacks, from inside the line, from the linebackers. So they cannot cover all the field. So that's that huge hole there that we have the man to take that gaps. We have 2 men that can be the man in the gap. One is Mike Thomas, as you said, Mike, but the other one is Kamara with the checks and with the screens. And the last 2 years, we don't see Kamara implied on that type of game of plays. No, and that
to me that is sacrilege, as you said, Mike. To not have Kamara, use him to his full effectiveness is really, really poor. And if you think back to Derek Carr at Las Vegas with Darren Waller, we talked about Juwan Johnson. He's going to feast with Derek Carr, because obviously, he would put those balls into that middle part of the field. We're not doing it, so we're not using Mike Thomas's strengths. We're not using our tight end strengths. We're just, we're becoming very one-dimensional and predictable.
Yeah,
in the way we approach things.
Today, I didn't understand how we are using Juwan Johnson this year. I can see it. We're not using it.
We're not.
And Derek Carr is what it is. No, it's he exposes a lot of the ball. No, he takes risks, that we know that, but he has also the touch, the accuracy to find these middle holes, which, for instance, Jameis it's not capable to do. So I don't know. That's why Andy Dalton was finishing last year because he can do that type of throws at 7, 6, 5 yards, and Derek Carr it's an upgrade of that. But
well, apparently an upgrade, but
apparently
yeah.
but you see there were no drops until this game. So if there are no drops, this is because the ball placement is good. The passes are good. Maybe he's risky sometimes. It's very takes his risk, but by the time he's playing that mini football, as we said here in Spain, he can be good. So
but so, we you know, with the every Saints fan, you know, unless you're in the Jameis hive, thought it was an upgrade. We all thought it was an upgrade. We were all looking forward to it. He didn't have to be brilliant. Everybody puts him in that 10 to 15 level of
just be average.
If that's where he is, exactly. If that's where he is, and you know, you've got the weapons that you've got. Obviously, we know the O-line has been failing a bit, but has improved. And funny enough, you talk about Pete going out with the concussion. It's actually improved since he came in. So the fact that the O-line is improving should be giving him more time. The weapons that you've got, and they're into. I mean, God, you know, everybody talks about how intelligent Alvin Kamara is. You know, for him to turn around after his first game of this season and say that we need to have some tough conversations, we haven't. And he sort of touched on it. Well, it's been like this for 2 years, and then sort of tried to pull back a little bit because it might have sounded like a criticism of something in-house. But when you're throwing, I mean, if you had said to me at the beginning of the game on Sunday, actually, Alvin's going to get 13 passes, I would have been ecstatic, thinking, oh my God, you know, he, without doubt, 80, 90 yards on that. He got 33 yards, which is apparently an all-time record low for somebody getting that amount of catches. So
on that point, Mike, the comment that Alvin made, that was Brooke from New Orleans Football that got that comment, Alvin, wasn't it? So I think to get some real questions like that in there is important. And I just wanted to almost give her credit because she doesn't pull her punches, and she asks the right questions, which is what we want as fans.
And we have a play which is -7 yards, it would be much better if that exchange play with Carr carrying the ball wasn't occurred, or just they swap and was Tyson.
That was never gonna. I think I think Dan's touching it. I watched Juice Wyndham as well, and I think he said the call was great, the personnel was crap, and that's it. It's like no one was moaning about us doing that type of play, but not with that personnel, because I mean I think he highlighted it. And I think Chris Roslogvu, did I get that right? I'd have to ask.
Nicely done. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I'd ask Ryan. But even Chris put something up where he was saying, and you just saw the Tampa defense, and not for 1 second were they fooled by it. They had keyed in instantly on Kamara. There was, I think, a linebacker just completely ignoring Carr as he came over. Again, great play call, wrong personnel. Therein lies part of the problem. That's obviously what's happening with the Saints at the moment. So, you know, we've got Sunday to look forward to with Mr. Belichick. Isn't he going for it? Is he looking to go for his 300th win?
Look, a good friend of mine at work is a quite a big Patriots fan, and he's like, take the under on this one. Like, it would be lucky if we get a touchdown between either team. But then they just signed JC Jackson from the Chargers, so that's not great for us. But then Christian Gonzalez went out injured; he's out for the season. So, you know, I'm not expecting it to be a blockbuster game. I still think we can win. I still think if we can regroup and think about what we're doing, I'm not writing the season off yet. I think there's opportunities to improve. I think the timeline is just disastrous. My Twitter timeline, it's a shambles. It's an absolute shambles. And I like to be positive because I think, you know, until it's over, it's not over. So I'm on the mindset that we got the personnel to do it. There's just. I think, Mike, you said to me over text message. Oh no, it's when we was chatting, watching the game, and Mike said to me, they just need to get in the room and have a clear the air meeting between the players and the coaches and say, this is what doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
What doesn't work for you, and work out how they go forward. That to me is what they need to do.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing they should do, it's a very British thing, and it's a very Premier League old-fashioned football term.
Yeah.
DA has to go in there and give someone a bollocking, an absolute bollocking. No punches pulled, and basically say it's an ultimatum time. If you don't improve, you're out.
Sure.
You know, maybe not kick him out, but just usher him towards the sidelines, because you know, yet again, the mentality in both Spanish football and English football, if a manager is after a quarter of the season is looking like it's going to be a disaster, they're gone.
Yeah.
You know, and that mentality maybe needs to sort of be drawn on. But I know it's a different game. I know the structure's different, you know. So, but yeah, all we can do is hope.
But it seems that this game this Sunday would be like an old-fashioned Italian game.
Yes, that's a great analogy. I love that.
Yeah.
That is a great analogy.
Oh God, yeah.
Maybe we're going just with a safety and a field goal, and we're winning the game.
I think, Sergi, you're absolutely right. It's like watching 1990 Italian football, isn't it? Where
AC Milan versus Inter,
yeah, they don't allow any forwards to get a kick. I think you could be right. That's a wonderful analogy. Let's hope it's not like that, because God, that was boring back in the day.
There's a reason that the Premier League and the Spanish League got the most attention, because they were exciting football, and the Italian League, to Sergi's analogy, was pretty boring.
Yeah. Let's hope that we are the Juventus team, so we're winning.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without the cheating, though, that can be Belichick.
Yeah, for sure.
Sergi, I think we'll probably move on from the morning of our Saints, and probably move on to a little bit more about sort of you and your fandom. The question that we always ask people that we get on the pod initially is, was it the Saints or the City? So was it the team that you started supporting, or were you a fan of the City?
It's the City, but with the team. You know, I went there in 2011, which was with my wife. We were a road trip all across the United States, and we drive from Orlando to New Orleans because I wanted to go there. Just I didn't know anything about the city, but it's some sort of attraction, no? What you see here in Europe and whatever. So we arrived there, and there was a kickoff. It was a game between the Packers and the Saints.
Oh, 2011, you say?
Yeah, kickoff. Yeah, 2011. Yeah. I think we've lost, but with the game, I see on the hotel we were staying, a lot of people with the jerseys, with the same jerseys, going to the bar to see the game. So we went just there to see what was happening as a good Spaniards, no? So we see a little bit of noisy, and we go there, and people there were so lovely, so open-minded. They explaining us all the things that team do for the city after the Katrina. Actually, when we went there, we arrived driving, and we passed down the bridge next to the Superdome, and it was a lot of people still living there. So it was a little bit shocking, and it was 5 years later than the Katrina. No? And so they explain the how that team rise in some way the city, and after that, and all the love they process to the team, and the way they're playing, because there's also the way they're playing. That game was a very good game with Aaron Rodgers in his prime. I think that year is the year that it was the MVP between Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers.
It was that year.
And it was a lovely game, and a lovely city, a lovely uniform, a lovely logo. So I just fell in love with this. I was in love with the city. With the 2-3 days was there before, but the team also attracted me and plugged me, and definitely to the city. And after that, we came back. I decided to follow a little bit more the American football here in Spain, because here there's the cable channel, the cable company, like the Sky there, but here in Spain, and they were doing like 2-3 games a week. So I begin to another time to see every more, and in 2015, I think, I opened that special account just centered on the on the Saints, and until there. So I'm trying to speak there what it arrived me from there, what I see. We've done, and we can go talk about deeper later, but we've done a great community with we are more than 70 people in Spain which are a Saints fan, which is not easy in Spain, because there's not that culture that you have, for instance, in London for the music and so on, which plugs you more to the city of New Orleans. But we've done that, and we've created the podcast. I've been I've been lucky to be a part of a big project in Spain, American football, in with 32 fans of other teams with their accounts in Twitter. We do the Spanish Ball. I was one of the creators. Now it's one of the referral places here in Spanish to see and to inform football. So I'm very happy with that. But the main point was that visit at the city of New Orleans, see that game, see that opener, and fell in love with the city and with the team. So it's the city because I first went to the city.
Yeah.
But
So, Sergi,
tell me.
I was gonna say, so did you ever like watch? Because obviously the Barcelona Dragons was a NFL team, a European American football team. Did you ever have any interest in that when they was active, or was it something that just didn't get your attention until
the first wave of that team, which was in the 96, 97,
early 90s,
early 90s. I used to follow them because I think I was attracted for the sport. But we can see it a little in Spain. They were just playing the Super Bowl and that's on, so you only see the Niners basically every year, or the Cowboys.
We know that feeling.
And that was an open door to American football here in Barcelona, especially in Barcelona, because in the other parts of Spain was not that far. And now with the European League football, with the Spanish ball, we're trying to cover also that league. So I went to the stadium twice this year. So I've been reporting from there, from that project which is called Spanish Ball, and it's not that easy. I think the first World League was too early for the mature of the market here in Europe. And it was a great idea. Now it's a little bit different. But now we have this new franchise in Madrid. So maybe we have the rivalry Madrid-Barcelona. Maybe this is increasing the interest with the sport. So we'll see what's gonna happen next year. You were like London
Monarchs.
Also? No, Monarchs.
I was aware of it. I was probably a bit too young to be interested, but like you said, if you went into a sports shop in the UK and there was a NFL jersey, it was generally a 49ers jersey or a Dolphins jersey. That's probably or the Bears. That was probably the extent of what you would find.
Oh yeah, and that was always to do with the fridge, weren't it? For some reason, he really took off over here.
I mean, I'll be open. I actually had a Barcelona Dragons jersey.
You have it?
There was. I don't have it anymore. I did have as a child because there was a sports shop near us that were closing down, and they were selling them off cheap. And my mum bought me a Barcelona Dragons American football jersey and a London Monarchs American football jersey.
Okay.
I wish I still had them. I really do.
I have it from the 95. From 95, I have that jersey. I think the World Barcelona wins is against London Monarchs. I think that sounds like that.
I went to a London Monarchs game. I wasn't particularly a huge NFL fan. I had a bit of an interest, and obviously the Monarchs at the time, they were fairly big news in London. And I went, but my wife, and this is before she was my wife, her and her dad used to go to the Monarchs every week. So she had the jersey and everything. So she was actually probably into, without being into it, she sort of was into NFL before actually I was. So, but she had jerseys and everything. So it's a real shame that she got rid of them. But yeah, it was. I think, as you touched on, Sergi, I think it was just the market over here wasn't mature enough.
Yeah.
Even if you think about, technology and all that stuff, just the way that people can be into NFL now, the fact that, we have things like DAZN, all the media companies will at least have some games on in most countries. It's just easier to connect to it now. So
social media, sure.
Yeah, social media is
makes
huge.
Such a difference.
Yeah. So it's just a lot easier now, which is why we can obviously see the growth of the game in Europe. Obviously, we know London's huge. Obviously, in Germany, a huge market for it in Germany. But as Dan mentioned, we spoke to the guys on Saints France. Obviously, now they've got the affiliation with the Saints. We're hoping something happens for them over there. But also, I think with Madrid and their new stadium, part of also building that stadium is not exactly like Tottenham, but they've actually done it with an eye on NFL games going to Madrid as well, haven't they? So, and I think the NFL I think it was in an article, it might have been last week or
last week.
Have said that they're looking to put games on in Spain as well, aren't they? So,
in Spain and in Brazil, they told last week.
Yeah. Which is, again, fantastic for NFL fans in Spain, but also not bad for the NFL itself. If you can capture large audiences like Spain, Brazil, Jesus, the amount of people in Brazil, they're gonna look to these markets. So, but the benefit of that is,
I think that the long shot for them is like the 17th game of each team would be abroad. So overseas. So
in Spain, I think you've got the Dolphins and the Bears as your allocated team from a marketing rights point of view. I mean, it would make some. The Saints didn't go for the marketing rights initially, and we was quite confused because we thought, it makes perfect sense to go to maybe Canada or France because the whole Cajun Arcadian thing. But let's not forget that Louisiana, New Orleans was under Spanish rule for 40 years. So, it would make sense if the Saints looked to market in a second country for that to be Spain.
Yeah, we hope so. but I think this maybe I'm entering in a point which is not goes very away from the reality. But the sensation I have here is that in the Spaniards and Spain in America, they are conceived more as the invader, no, the bad guys, and
I know. I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
and they the French connection with the city of New Orleans, I think it's bigger. The logo, the fleur de lis, it's a French. It's a French thing. I think it's more natural instead of being a part of Spain for many years. But I think the image or the marketing the Spaniards have in most parts of America, and also there's a lot of confusion also with Spain and Latino, and they have
people will talk about Spanish speaking fans, but actually they're talking about something very different to fans from Spain. They're talking about people who are fans of, I think I was looking at statistically, the most Spanish speaking fans are fans of the Raiders or fans of the Chargers or Arizona, because regionally where they sit, it lends itself more to Spanish speaking fans. So
yeah,
but I completely understand what you're saying, Sergi.
we have two groups here. We have the group with the Spain one, and we have also the Hulats, which there's a huge community also in the Latin America, and we have a lot of friends there. Also, a lot of Saints fans. We have Nacion, for instance, which is a Mexican one, which is very, very, very special guy. But you're right. The riders, I think it's the team there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fandom of the Bears also.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot, especially in Mexico, and the Chargers for San Diego for the very close to Mexico also. And you're totally right. I think the Saints in the Spanish market, in spite of despite having I don't know if they maintain it, but they have a channel only in Spanish.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
We've been with a guy in the podcast, and it's a huge community, but also within the United States. I think it's the I don't know if maybe it's almost as spoken as English there in America there. The North America.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't. You could probably tell me, Dan, because you're more of an America-phile than us. But the America doesn't have an official language, does it? So I think everyone is due.
I would say you speak to some American people, and they'll tell you the official language is American. Even though it's probably closer to English. But
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But actually, officially, the English is not the national language of the country. So
look, if you go to somewhere like New York, I think there's like 60, 70 different languages being spoken in the city of New York. It is outside of those more rural areas. You can go anywhere and hear a number of different languages.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is that, even though obviously you're talking there, Dan, about, the connection between Spain and New Orleans, obviously there is a massive connection. You see it every time you go to the city. If you go into the French Quarter, you see it everywhere. Obviously, maybe not as in your face as the French influence.
It's not as obvious unless you understand.
No, it's not. It's not as obvious, but you could see it all around the place. Obviously, we know about the architecture in the French Quarter. A lot of that is influenced by Spain because when Spain actually, because France had to pay a debt, didn't they, or something
they couldn't afford the cost of the war, so they sold the city.
So they sold it. But from what I understand, those 40 years were pretty formative years for the way that the city was run. So there was lots of things that the Spanish did, which actually made an improvement to the city. And then obviously, Americans should be grateful. You sold the land back to them. So, they should be grateful.
As a Spanish, when you see when I went for the first time in the French Quarter, I see more Spanish Quarter than French Quarter because there's a lot of things in Spanish there.
Yeah,
they're more than French. I think that there's more plagues. The name of it also. Then they change it, but originally, I think especially that part very most close to Jackson Square. No, Jackson Square's called the place.
That's
all that part is very, very, very Spanish.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest misconceptions around the French Quarter is people always associate the French Quarter with the cast iron surroundings of the buildings, and everyone assumes that that's French, but it's not. It was the Spanish that came in and put that in around the building. So one of the most iconic things about the French Quarter, people say, "Oh, look at those iron balconies and things." So French, but it's not. It was a very Spanish thing. And Mike, you said to me before we recorded, the courtyards are very Spanish.
Yeah. You go into the French Quarter, and I think one of the things that people love to do most is to sit in a courtyard, have a drink, and watch the world go by. And again, that's Spain. That's Spain all over it. I've been on a couple of the tours of the area, and the very first time. Sorry,
you can see it on the porcelain inside of the of the buildings, the what we call here the patio de luces, which is the backyard inside of the buildings, which is very special from here, from Andalusia or Sevilla, Granada, all that part of that. It's very Spanish, and also the balcony, the way we in Spain we work with iron. Also, you can see there. It's much more Spanish than French.
I think it's like even the style of houses, or they're very close together, and it's sort of it's magical. Hey, look, French, American, Creole, Spanish. It's a wonderful area to wander around, especially if the sun's out. It's a lovely area to wander around.
People will talk a lot about New York being the melting pot of America and things, but historically, if you want to look at a true melting pot of a city, it is New Orleans, just because of the French, the Spanish, the English, the native peoples, the people who came over, unfortunately, from Africa and things on the slave trade. They've all had their footprint on the city and made just this beautiful, concoction.
I think we said a lot. We've been also in a very huge podcast here, which is Histocast, which they speak about history, and they invite us to talk about Katrina and all that, what happened, and the football team there, and so on. And they told that New Orleans is the city in the United States who has an history. Has an history in the way Europeans conceive history, no? You can see the places, no, the way they look, there's not that thing which is very, very American, no? They construct huge things, lot of space, no? And New Orleans, you can feel the history there. There's also Houston. I think downtown Houston is also that you have that feeling also, but not in the same way that in New Orleans. I don't know if you think about it, but feel the same way about that or not?
Oh, I think the first time I went to New Orleans, we walked onto Canal Street, and I thought I was in Madrid or Barcelona or something like that, just because it felt so European, and it felt so familiar to me as well. Because growing up in the UK, we went on holiday, and Michael was saying you'd go to Europe, that would be where you'd go on holiday, and it felt so familiar to me when I walked into that part of the city.
Yeah, absolutely. When you and your wife went there in 2011, Sergi, what sort of things were you doing? Obviously, we know you went to the bar and watched the football, and that was a blessing for us and you. What other things did you do? Did you sort of do any other things that were memorable that you really enjoyed when you were over there?
Yeah, we arrived very tired. that's the first thing I have to tell you, because we do all that road trip, which is very beautiful. It's a very beautiful trip from Orlando, from northern Florida to New Orleans, all the Gulf Coast. You have that town, which is the town they recorded the Truman Show in a panoramic highway. There's also great beaches, also very white sand and very hot water also, but very beautiful. And we do that trip, and we arrive very, very tired. So we visit mainly the French Quarter, which was close to the hotel. Hotel was, I think, is Hilton, next to the Harrah's, downtown.
We know it. Yeah.
So we went there. One thing that we love is that there was a convention from the Red Hat Society. I don't know if you know what it is, but it's a society of women which wore red hat, and they were very, very fun. So we have fun with them, and but it's a woman from mainly in the early 50s, and from 50 to 60. A lot of women convention. There was 200 women like this in our hotel. So we went also to try that food. The most the Creole part. We went to see to eat some seafood. we were not. We don't try the gumbo or something like that. It was too hot. I think it was also like 42 degrees there
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
And very the humidity here, like here in Barcelona, it was very, and also just chilling in bars. And
Yeah.
I remember also taking the tram, going on the northbound. Don't remember exactly what, but just chilling in the main touristic area. We also go
Yeah.
the typical cruise with the music inside. Who that? It's the Tom Sawyer. Who is that in that boat? The river boat or
The
something like that.
Natchez boat. Natchez River boat?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We do that. We also do a walk and next to the river. See the
Yeah.
music see the music on the street. We are very fans of music at home, and everything you can find there. On Sunday you can cross some second line, which is okay.
Yeah.
So
So
every typical thing you can.
yeah, I
You
was going
can
to say you did everything that's expected of a first time visitor there, which
sure.
is and I think we've said it many times before, Dan, haven't we? Absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's exactly what people should be doing the first time they go to the city,
Yeah.
because it's still magical. Dan touched on it when he first went there. Obviously, you touched on it, Sergi, when you first went there, and then apart from the city, then you found the Saints. Nothing wrong with going there and being a tourist. We spoke about this before. I recommend you go to any foreign city in the world. Be a tourist for your first time there. Do everything
Sure.
you're meant to do.
I wanted to touch on something Sergi said. He said you didn't try the gumbo. Obviously, jambalaya is incredibly similar to paella. Did you try jambalaya? And from you, if you have tried it, how does it stack up to paella?
No,
You didn't try it.
no, I didn't try it. I have a problem here, which is my wife doesn't tolerate the spicy thing.
Yeah.
So
My wife's the same. She doesn't like spicy food.
yeah,
I took her to
so
a Cajun restaurant. She said, "Is
I
it
have to be very
spicy?"
yeah, I have to be very careful with that. So we taste the oysters doing the Creole thing. We taste also the shrimp with
Yeah.
they do like in a soup. It's a little bit spicy, or very very nice. We also try the po' boy. Or, or,
Yeah.
always you have to do that. And we also go to the Mortons, which is the the steakhouse, typical steakhouse.
I think I might have been there on my first time. I think I might have been there.
Sure. It's like good meat, so easy on how do you say that, on the grill
Yes.
meat.
Yeah.
Also, what do we do? Remember, it's so far time away.
Oh yeah, it's a long time ago, but you sound like you sort of did all the things that were expected, and it's it's just trying everything you can for the first time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
exactly.
there's also that point also which happens to Europe people here when we go to the States, that there's the point that as you are not used to you're British, or you don't have that problem, but when you're not used to that type of thing, or you don't know exactly the way the New Orleanians act. They are very happy, they are very open, but you're always a little bit, I don't know,
Yeah.
taking a little bit of distance, no, because you never know what
Well,
happens. We have
you're not.
yeah,
You're just not used to it. We have that over here. We have that in this country a little bit between the north and the south of our country.
yeah,
If you come to London, most people walk with their head down. If you go up to the north of England, it's different. People
yeah,
greet you, people say
yeah,
hello, and when you're not used to it, it can take you back a little bit. It's almost like, well, what do they want? They don't
yeah.
want anything.
Yeah.
They're just being friendly. So
Yeah. They're
yeah,
friendly. They're friendly. But
yeah,
we have
exactly. And
a bad experience before in Chicago. So not really bad. What we went quickly and we can hand it out, but we were going to the Delta Center, no, which is the Chicago Bulls pavilion, to visit there, and I told my wife, you never know in that country where you are safe and where you are not. No, that type of streets very high, no transit, and one person come to our side and ask for money. I just took all I have. That's all I have, man. That's for you. Bye bye. And that experience there make us a little bit more cautious.
Oh, yeah.
And I think what I thought that in the last years, the periods that the cities, it's a little bit more dangerous now, no, that 11 years ago. That's
I think there's from a global point of view, if you look at places, it's just the things that have gone on in the world the last 3 or 4 years. They've made changes to people and the way people react. We see it in London. Even my the small town I live in outside of London. 5 years ago, you very rarely would have seen anyone homeless in the city. In the town I live in now, it's quite commonplace. I think it's just it is a reflection of what the world is.
happening.
But we're on. Yeah, people are. It's heading. Things are heading in the right direction, I think. But no, I understand, because we see a lot of one of the things that Mike and I talk about is you get a lot of bad news comes out of everywhere. And you get all the this awful stuff's happened. I follow so many New Orleans news channels. When they had that spate of break-ins at the Superdome where people were getting broken into the car, I saw it everywhere because that's that sells and stuff. But it's no different to what where I live. Things like that happen. Just difference in America is they have guns and we don't. In Europe, we don't. But we'll stick to the positives, and
But the only thing, you're to a point, Sergi's right. But you have to be wherever you go. If you go to any foreign place, you've just got to be aware of yourself and aware of your surroundings, and also just be careful. Don't be silly. You are in a foreign place. From a customs standpoint, you're not really sure how people sometimes act. I've been to Cape Town, and I had to get I was literally from my home. If I wanted to go to a bar, I had to get a taxi from my hotel to a bar and then get a taxi back. I was outrightly told, you do not walk along this street. That's the same everywhere. When I go to New Orleans, I know exactly where I'm safe enough, and I don't venture out of it. And if I have to do a major journey, and Dan will tell you, I'm straight into a Lyft or an Uber because I'm not taking that chance anyway. But that's the same in London. I do exactly the same in London. So again, sorry, Dan, go on.
As I say, it's interesting because our friends in New Orleans would say to us, "Oh, yeah, you want to stay here or stay there?" But when they came to London for the London games, which is a nice segue, Mike.
Yeah, I like that.
When they come to the London games, they said, "Oh, should we stay here? It's quite cheap." I said, "No, you don't want to stay there." So it's really close to the city of London. It's like, yeah, you definitely don't want to stay there. No, but it's just knowing what you know, and us as tourists, wherever we go, it's getting that familiarity. But
segue go for your segue because that was smooth, Dan. I like that.
No worries. So did you come to London for the game last year?
Sure, we came like 26 from our group here in Spain, and we meet there because we are from different parts of Spain, and we meet there. Everything we put face all together. You can ask Nick Underhill or Russ Jackson.
I've seen the photo. I've seen the photo of you with
about the homies in Spain. I was not there. Because I arrived like at 7. And they closed the Gatwick Express because there were like
there were train strikes.
The train strikes, weren't there? Yeah.
And there was the marathon also, and there was no way to find a cab. So I wait for 2 hours for a cab. It was a little bit disaster. My arriving. I have no hotel there. One of the mates here in Spain and found a place for me. It was a little bit stressing, but we were there. We have a great time. And you can ask them about their homes in Spain. They are very pleased. I also have the opportunity to go there with in the press room, because we're in the project with Spanish Ball, so I can chill with both Ross, Mike Triplet, also with Nick Underhill.
Oh, wonderful!
Oh, nice.
On the press room. So it was they are exactly what you see in social media. They are very open, and you can speak with them no problem. When I am very pleased with that. And I also came 5 years ago in 2017, 6 years ago,
Oh, yeah.
with that game against the Dolphins, which was
Yeah.
the very first thing I saw, the monster, the reality, which is Sabin Camara live. And yeah. If the Saints are coming, I'm coming, and I try also to come for other games, such as reporting for the web. But if the Saints are coming, I'm going. So we have a great time. You both go for.
Yes, yeah. We have season tickets at Tottenham. Are you coming over for the games this week or next week?
No. They played at Wembley, no? The last
they played at Wembley last week, and then
the Jags and the Falcons.
Yeah. Jags Bills on Sunday at Tottenham.
Yeah. You are season holders from Tottenham, no?
Yeah.
For the
NFL,
yeah. Yes, just the NFL, yeah.
Just check me, because I've been there like 4 or 5 times, to going for the Saints, and then I went for covering other games, mainly in Wembley. But the last season, the Saints game is the first time I got the feeling that there was a game between two teams there. There were a lot of Saints jerseys and a lot of Viking jerseys, and it was more real than it used to be. That it's like I don't know, Esperanto, no? With so many jerseys, so many teams, so many names there, which is very good. It's like a party. But this time I got the feeling that it was a game between two teams, and there was the two crews, and we have a real interaction there between ones and the others.
Sergi, I think you're right. I think that part of the reason for that was that, to be fair to the Vikings, on the day of the game, they far outnumbered the Saints fans. They were there in far bigger numbers, and also very distinctive with their purple jerseys. The thing about, and we touched on it before, the one thing last year which was wonderful compared to 2017 was that the people who came over from America actually felt like they were really part of New Orleans. They felt like they were the people of New Orleans, and with that comes their culture, their color, their sound, their and I think that's part of it. The Saints had a lot more fans over than I thought would be. I think you probably agree, don't you, Dan?
Yeah, and a lot more fans that we knew as well.
Yeah,
which was
but also they're just Saints fans, so they're gregarious, they're loud, so they make up for. Yeah, they make up for the fact that we were outnumbered by the Vikings. We've touched on a previous pod. It was only up until myself and Dan were in London for sort of from the Thursday onwards.
Yeah.
On the first 2 days, all that you saw on the streets was black and gold. If you saw an NFL fan, they were in black and gold. It was only on the Saturday where you really started to see Vikings fans come in. And a lot of that was because a lot of the Scandinavian fans came over on Saturday, because they've got big fan clubs over there. But, fair play to the Vikings. They really showed up and showed out. But and also, it was a heartbreaking loss, but the game was really decent as well. As much as we.
The point I was doing is that in other games, I see a lot of jerseys from a lot of teams. There's not. And in that case, maybe there were more Vikings jersey, because you see also more the purple than the black. That's facts. But there were a majority of people which was supporting one of the two teams. there were not so many other jerseys.
It wasn't as diversified in terms of jerseys that were on display. There was a huge prominence of Vikings and Saints fans there.
Sergi, if you'd come, I think it was the following week, Dan, wasn't it? Was it the Packers Giants?
Yeah.
If you had come to that game, you would not have believed how many. And yet again, I know big market team outside of the States, the area of Green Bay is not very big, but they're a massive international team.
We have a fandom here, huge.
Yeah, they're easily half the stadium was Packers fans, and then and there were a lot of Giants fans because Giants are well supported. But half of the stadium was Packers, Giants well represented, and then the rest was the normal blend of NFL fans. So, you get that when you get a huge market team, don't you? Sometimes, but you're right about the Saints and the Vikings game. It felt like a contested game, a fan wise.
Yeah, because if you go like 5 years ago with that Dolphin Saints day, there were a lot of Saints jerseys, a lot of Dolphin jerseys also that Aguamarina they have. But there were a lot, maybe 1/3 of each, 1/3, and 1/3 of people with any type of jersey. And I think, and if you go regularly there, you can see that every time there are more fandom of the team that they are playing. No, I don't, and you can see it up on the opposite side when they played last year in Germany. In Germany, it was like it was like Las Vegas. No, everyone has his own jersey of his team, and there was not a really And in London, I think you have that games that take a level that the fandom of Europe goes to there to see their team, not to see the show. No.
But so that's probably also part of. I think for a lot of NFL fans in the UK, it's getting more and more difficult to come into London for a game. The ticket prices have increased a bit. The cost of living situation over here is pretty bad. But also to try and because most fans that come down, like maybe try and stay over for a night or two, it's just become so expensive. So I think now a lot of the fans of other teams who just enjoy coming to the London games probably make a financial decision, which is I can't go to both, or I can't even go to one of them. So you will get, that's where you get fans of the teams that are playing who probably get the opportunity to pick up tickets. So I think that's also a bit of a change. And,
sure.
And
it's a smaller stadium as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it's 30,000 people less than Wembley, so the getting a ticket for the game at Tottenham is
a higher concentration of fans actually attend of the teams.
Yeah,
they have to pay more for it, but you get more. Your point is a very valid one, Sergi. You get a fairer balance of fans rather than people who are just there because they like the NFL.
It's a better rivalry experience now, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is absolutely right.
I understand that you're going to Tottenham Stadium with your Saints gear, no?
Yeah.
You're going with the Saints. Yeah, okay.
Always in Saints gear.
So I can keep doing that podcast if you do
that. Yeah.
We like to go and give some Falcons some abuse. That's my favorite thing to do. Love
it. Quickly going back, Sergi, I know you were not unable to make the evening at the 9th Ward last year. What did your friends say? Did they enjoy the evening? Because part of the reason I asked, because it was like the anniversary of that night a couple of days ago, wasn't it? So
yeah. They have a great time, but we're from Spain. You know that we like drink a lot.
Yes.
And a lot and for a long time. We are the ones which are the more noisy, and maybe not the ones who drink more, but stays for longer drinking.
Longer.
So longer. So
got that stamina.
we can stay there for hours, and they were having a great time. I think if some of them could be here, I think they always, when they remember that night, there's a shining in their eyes, so
Little
they
twinkle.
they were very pleased. So that was fine, very good organized.
It was a game. We've touched on it before. It was a fantastic night, and just on I just, as it was the anniversary, just like to put a little thank you out there for James, who organised it all. It was a fantastic night, and it was the fact that you had so many fans from so many different areas of the world that were in there, as well as all the press guys who were absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic as long as they didn't talk to me. But yeah, they were great. But yeah,
the Denmark guys stay there also. The guys from Denmark.
I don't know actually. I don't know. We're hoping to chat to those guys soon as well.
Yeah, we had some chats with. It's Ulrich, isn't it?
Ulrich, yeah.
Ulrich? Yeah, we had some chats with Ulrich and hope to have a chat with him soon. It'd be interesting to see if they. And that's the thing as well, like with what James did and those guys at Dome Patrol. Shout out to Jason from Dome Patrol, who I've actually purchased a multi-pack
you got them
fries for. Yeah, I went to B&M to get them. Those guys, they put on a good event. They got Nick Underwood, they got Ross Jackson, they got John Hendricks. Mike Triplett was there. It was wonderful. And we were treating people from New Orleans like they were celebrities. Brian Benjamin was there, and I was like, Brian, can I have my photo with you? So and he's just a guy from New Orleans who's got a bit of a presence on social media. But it was, for us to get to meet these people who we've conversed with for several years on social media, it feels like family and friends are coming to see you for the first time. And I'm sure it felt the same for your friends who were there to meet Nick Underhill and Ross Jackson, to say, I've been reading your work for 9 years, 8 years, and things like that. It leaves a special place in the heart.
The most elegant person, the most British person in New Orleans, Ross Jackson. Elegant,
Ross is one of our favorite people. We love Ross.
Let's move on, because I'm getting a reputation on this pod, so we need to move on from Ross Jackson.
For being a Ross Jackson lover.
I said from the other side.
I'm going to end that part by just saying, Jason, your scampi fries are on their way, mate. That's what we need to.
If you're lucky, I'll bring some bacon fries as well.
I just wanted to say that I remember all the family of the people in the authority of transport in London to close down the Gatwick Express that day, just 2 minutes before I arrived to the train.
Tell them, mate.
Sergi, I got so many. Like, it's not cheap for me to get a taxi home. I live in London, but I live on the outskirts of London. So I got like 3 different taxis home that weekend, and it cost me like 60-70 £60-70 a time. But it was worth it.
I
share your sentiment.
1 hour and a half in the taxi also.
Gatwick is the furthest London.
I've been to London a lot of times. A lot of times, not only for the NFL. My best friend was living there for many years, so once a year at least I was going there, and I always went to Luton or to Stansted, but never Gatwick. It's very comfortable when the train is going, so it's very very quick, but don't work. It's like you're out.
Hey, Sergi, you've learned your lesson, mate. Leave Gatwick alone. Nobody likes to go to Gatwick in this country. I have to admit. Just touching on that, obviously you went to Ninth Ward, and then so obviously you had your struggles with the Gatwick Express. Fuck them. But then so you get into London. Your friends got you the hotel. The morning of the game, what do you and your friends do on the morning of the game?
We were close to It was the station. It was in King's Cross, going
Yeah.
a little bit. Which is the station? Okay, we were in an area.
Euston. Euston
Houston.
Station.
No,
That's
a
up the
little
road
bit
from King's Cross.
northern.
Are you further north? Camden?
Not that northern.
This
Northeastern.
So you're going to, yeah, I know,
go
yeah,
towards
probably are.
Tottenham. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Angel,
going to-
Highbury,
Angel.
Angel.
We
Yeah.
were in Angel. So
Look at
in
that London knowledge.
Yeah. We went
cab
to next to the station in Angel. There's like a little street, very European also,
Yeah.
which was a place there to have a quick breakfast. We were like very soon in the morning. It was like at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we went to have breakfast there. We take the train and go to the stadium. I wanted to go there like 4 hours before, because of the accreditation, doing that, put all the things. So I have no hotel for the other night, so I have to take all with me. And after that, we went all together to do a paint next to the stadium. So we have a good breakfast there with all complete, everything. You can. We don't do Marmite or something like that. A little bit more Frenchy breakfast, but
no Marmite.
not Marmite. No, not beans.
I
not
love
ketchup.
that. I love it.
I love also Marmite, but we don't do that.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
going in the tagline for this episode.
Yeah. It's like I know Britain's moving backwards in many sort of ways, sort of politically and socially. We haven't gone back to the sort of 1980s yet with Marmite for breakfast, have we?
I like Marmite and toast.
I love Marmite. One of the best things that I bought about 3 years ago is they do that mixture when it was peanut butter and Marmite. That was phenomenal. That was absolutely brilliant. Betty,
I won't lie. I'm more of a Bovril guy personally, but anyway.
Yeah, you're old school. Anyway, sorry, Sergio. We're getting into a Marmite debate. I do apologise.
It's okay. So we went there, take a Frenchy breakfast, and go to the stadium. Because I mainly also was another guy from Spanish Ball there. We meet there, and we were together, and we went to do a paint all together. All the people. We have the big photo, all of us there. They were someone from Spanish TV, which contact one of our guys, and they do like an interview there for us. We were on the national TV news. Yeah, it was very. We also do some joke with the biking people there. We have a great time. Then it happens the match. No, we that final kick. That could come from one side to the other. We meet after the game. I went to the press room for the conference, but it was like everyone was very down that day. There is everything was very down. There was no silver linings that moment.
No.
So we meet all the Spanish guys after the match, and we went to a bar next to King's Cross to have lunch, and we saw the Seahawks. They were the Seahawks playing against I don't know who. It was a 45 million points to 44 million points game or something like that. With some other pains. And we finished the day there, but it was very very very
apart from
exciting
the
to
result, apart from the result, it sounded like it was a fantastic sort of visit over for the Saints London game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that knowing all the people who is in your Telegram chat and speaking every week, overreacting every week about the Saints games, all of them just for chatting, but you know them. You put the face on them. You put the face, and you see that messages tape and you identify perfectly, and that's
Yeah,
that's
Sergi,
magical. That's
Sergi,
magical.
that's what we are. Mike and I are all about with this podcast. We've built
Yeah.
such wonderful friendships with people
Yeah.
who some of them we've still not met yet in person.
Yeah.
But like you say, you exchange those messages, and when you actually get to see them, it just brings so much more to the moment, because you've built this rapport with someone. You actually get to finally embrace them and say, I'm so glad to be in your company and share these moments with you. And that's exactly what the SaintsCityMe is about as a podcast. And hopefully one day we'll get to do it with you. One day you'll get the Saints will come back to London, or Saints go to Spain or France, and we will come and we will break bread with you, and we will buy you a drink, and we will get to enjoy each other's company. That's exactly what we're here for.
And also, if I came to London with no NFL, I can contact you and we do a hug, because it's a very magical moment when I met most of the people there. We were hugging like we know each other for a long time, and especially that five guys we were doing the podcast every week, because we don't know each other just as we are seeing right now, no? So, and we have some episodes we have a little bit I don't know how to say susto. We had a scary. We have a scary episode one day, which one of us was not reacting, and it was a little bit. Look at my and hug with them. It was like real, no? And people it shares you everything, something that you feel very strong. And that moment and that game for us was magical in that sense, that we put all face one each other, we know each other, and we enjoy together the company. We couldn't enjoy a win, that's the pity part, but I will always remember that game because of that, because I met most of my Casa Saints people, which is what we talk our people here.
Yeah, and
we are. Go on, Mike. Go for it.
No, go on.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I was going to say that in itself is beautiful, because I think that's I think Dan just quickly touched on it. I'm the same thing. I'm on Saturday night. I've had to book myself into a hotel in London for 2 nights, because even though the Saints aren't playing, obviously myself and Dan are going to the game on Sunday, but I'm in a WhatsApp group with Saints fans, and a number of those Saints fans are coming down on Saturday to go to the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
But again, there might be 15 people coming down. 10 of them I've never met in my life. I've only interacted with them online, and that's one of the wonderful things about the NFL. Actually, not even just Saints fans.
Sure.
Wonderful thing about the NFL is that these guys are coming down to watch 2 teams that they don't support on a Sunday in a beautiful stadium in a shit area. Dan's a Tottenham fan.
Fair comment. You could have said the team. But
did you think, Dan, that story started to feel very beautiful and wonderful?
It was just
the beauty of it is it's not like the Saints community in Spain, absolutely wonderful. You spoke about that last year, meeting some guys, and it's the same for everyone, I think.
Yeah, sure.
I'm getting this opportunity on Saturday to meet a number of people who I've interacted with but never met in my life, and that's the NFL. Brilliant.
Yeah, and that's little communities we're buying here. I'm very lucky to be on that project, which is Measure, which all the franchises, and I know many people there, which is incredible also, and the thing that connects us is the sport. So I went to the game with a Seattle's fan, which is it's like a friend, and I see him 2 times in my life. So, but I know him. We WhatsApp when there's something. How everything is fine. So and I'm very fortunate to have also that group, which in some moments which are very difficult in my life, professionally, whatever, I have that escape way, with talking with them, doing programs with them, connect in some sort of way which escape a little bit of your reality, and your team is it's like trash, but you have 31 more trashes and one which is happy. That's the magic of that sport.
Yeah,
balances it out.
Yeah.
So
Go on,
so go
Dan.
on.
Your turn this time.
No, I was going to just ask you, like, just from a personal, who are like your favorite players? Who are your favorite Saints players?
Now, today.
Well, now or even ever. Most people say Drew. We normally say you can't say Drew, but who's your favorite player now, and who's your favorite player ever?
My favorite player now. It's not an easy question because I like a lot Marshall Latimore.
Yeah.
I think that guy for me is top one in our team. If he's okay, our defense is okay. It's mathematical. So I like, and in 217 that draft, I think that having Marshall Latimore in that equation, I think our defense take a step forward, which I appreciate that, and we sometimes we forgot that he had only one bad year, which was the second, which I think maybe something in his hair, to be so young and so on. He was not professional that second year, but a part of that little parenthesis, which is more a thing of youngness than anything.
Immaturity.
Immaturity, exactly. I love Marshall Latimore. And also I love Alvin Kamara from our actual squad. And the other one I love, it's my I love Tyson Hill. I think it's our best player. And I don't. I think if Tyson Hill was in another team or in another franchise, I think it would be much more considered than it is in our team, because he's doing literally everything. So and he's doing everything in a high level, so it's not easy. There's not a lot.
I think, Sergi, I think part of the problem, again with Taysom, is that I think people have they put a slight on his name because he wanted to be a QB, but that's what he grew up wanting to be. Like, so he's not. Well, look, we say he's not a NFL level QB, and he's probably not. But yet again, his record is really good.
His accuracy is also very, very good. His percentage of throwing.
Yeah, but also the other thing about it is, I think so. People sometimes have a slight on him because of the QB thing. He wanted to be a QB. Hey, look, that's what he wanted to be growing up. If you got the opportunity, you take it. That sort of sometimes takes away from his all-round ability. You know, you've had, I can't remember who it was on the was it the Carolina game where he said he's one of the best football players I've ever seen. It was Ross Tucker, yeah. But actually, I don't think he's wrong, because he's talking about all-round football players. Yeah. And as you touched on, Sergi, he can play maybe 3 or 4 positions at a really high level. You know, not just 1, not just 2, 4. And actually, he can probably play a 5th at a very good level. So,
if he played rugby, he would be.
He would play. Sure.
He'd be a superstar.
Because he could play both sides of the ball. Yeah, he'd be amazing. But as a rugby player, people would go, "This guy's just fantastic." But in NFL, you have to get stuck in your pocket, no pun intended, and you stay in your pocket.
Yeah,
stay in your lane.
And more all time, we love here in Casa Saints. We love Cam Jordan, which was in Spain this summer, and he spends some time with 2 of our guys. Yeah, look at Tyson.
Hey, look, I'm a fan as well, my friend.
I need one of those.
DH Gate. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
We love also Cam Jordan here in Spain. We love him so much. Too many years, too high, super level. And also it's that type of person that our rivals hate him. So a part of being productive, a part it makes our rivals, especially that Panthers and then that Falcons fans, completely mad, and that's why we love him. And
how can I ask?
Obviously,
do you know how long?
Bush,
all that. Sorry, Sergi. I was going to ask. Do you know how long Cam Jordan was actually out in Spain? Because it felt like he was out there for about 16 weeks. I mean,
he was coming and going.
All right. So he sort of based himself there, but was moving around and coming back.
No, he was going to the NBA finals. He's going to the NBA, and he comes back to Spain to visit Sevilla for the champion.
Yeah.
After that, he goes to the Arsenal to see Arsenal game, Tottenham game, I think also. Tottenham, Arsenal, and
I think Mark Ingram came. No, Mark Ingram went to a Chelsea game. So there was a number of Saints current and former players who came over together. DeMario, Craig Robertson, Cam.
Who's Mark Ingram got? Hasn't he
Mark Ingram?
He's got an investment in the team, hasn't he? Is it Cardiff?
DC United, I think.
He's got an. I'm sure he's got an investment in the UK team as well.
I think it might be Chelsea.
Anyway, sorry, mate.
Okay, so. Cam Jordan come to Barcelona to see Barcelona squad, also to see Real Madrid, Atlético de Madrid, Sevilla, Betis, a lot of places, but he was not established here,
No.
Was going
moving around.
It was like an activation from the NFL, trying to, in that international program, to approach, and they were, I don't know. He was also in Mallorca. He was spending some time there, and there was that guys from 100 Yardas, which is a major podcast here in Spain, that got him for 3-4 days, and they show him some traditional based sports. He was interacting, and David and Nacho, which are two of our guys here in Spain they had the opportunity to know him, to spend time with him. So it was an incredible experience for them.
Yeah.
And we can leave it here from. So it was like at least it was like 2 months. He was going and coming and going from the NBA finals to the final of the league, and that part in, I think, early June. I think it was early June.
Must be nice having that lifestyle.
Yeah.
No, Dad, leave it alone. All right. Anyway,
one day.
Yeah.
You never know.
Who knows? So,
keep playing the lottery.
Yeah. So, personally, from my point of view, I'd just like to thank you so much for coming on. It's great to talk to yourself, and also just getting a perspective on what the situation is in Spain. Yet again, it'll be wonderful if you get the opportunity maybe next year to come over for the London games. Obviously, even if the Saints ain't there, to come over, and myself and Dan would love to meet up with you and have some Marmite on toast. But from myself, I'd just like to say, I'd personally like to thank you for coming on. It's great to get international fans on here and just to hear their stories. I find it so bloody interesting. So thank you.
I echo that, Sergi. I'd love to have you come back on. Maybe bring a couple of the other guys from Casa Saints on with you. We can have a real dialogue, real conversation. Yeah. Maybe we don't even get to talk about those guys in their fandom. We just talk Saints for 90 minutes. It'd just be really, really cool just to have that conversation with your friends as well. And have you guys back on. We'd absolutely love that. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. I found it incredibly interesting.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed talking to you about the Saints at the start, your personal insight, your thoughts on things, and then learning about your journey to become a Saints fan and where you are now. It's wonderful. Maybe if we get to Spain, we can hook up with you some point.
Yeah.
I don't think Mike will be going because Arsenal always lose to Barcelona. So
if you come to Barcelona, it would be my pleasure to to meet you here.
Yeah.
I will try to go to London. I'm always trying to go every year. This year, all the spots were taken, and I have also with my professional things. The weekends we have a little bit tight, so it's not easy. And I I had the opportunity these 2 first weekends, but we had to see some games at home, and one and other one, two home games and one following the other. So it's a strange thing, but this year has come. And again, it's my honor to be here. Thank you for your invitation, and keep in touch, and keep
we will.
and keep
We're
doing that,
following
which
you
is
now. Yeah.
Thank you.
We will. And
Okay.
again,
So-
thank you once more.
Yeah. I
Thank
was
you.
going to say you can. It's on the ticker. You can follow Sergi at Hudat Spain. Also, if you go to SpanishBowl.com, what he's been talking about, you can get on that website there and see what he's been talking about there. But absolute pleasure, Sergi. We would love to have you on again, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Just a PS, because people here only listen, don't see. No, it's not
they do.
We put it on YouTube as well.
Okay. Just for the people who seen, you have to have the feeling I have now. I have two people, English people above me, and they are like looking at me down. Just I've never been so fluent in English. It's because I was pressured here from above.
I can't move him. It depends on it's the order you join the chat.
Well, Sergi, can I just say what a wonderful moment to end it on.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, mate.
Appreciate you. Thank you.